The Princess Who Loved Beyond the Border, a Cape Kingdom love tale. In the cool highlands of the Northwest Province of Cameroon, where green hills rolled like sleeping animals and the morning mist sat gently on rooftops, there was a proud kingdom called Cape Kingdom. Cape Kingdom was not the biggest kingdom in the land, but it was one of the most respected. The people of Cape Kingdom were known for three things. They loved peace, they loved their culture, and they respected the laws of their ancestors. The kingdom had red earth paths that curved between small homes, tall raffia palms that waved in the wind, and farms that looked like green blankets spread across the hills. In the evening, smoke from cooking fires rose softly into the sky. You could smell roasted corn, fresh ground spices, and sweet plantains. At the center of Cape Kingdom stood the royal palace. It was strong and beautiful, with carved wooden doors, wide courtyards, and tall pillars painted in warm colors. Near the palace gate, guards stood calmly, not to frighten people, but to keep order. And inside that palace lived the ruler of Cape Kingdom, His Royal Highness, King Ewah. King Ewah was a wise man. He did not speak too quickly. He listened first, then he spoke carefully, like someone placing stones to cross a stream. The people trusted him, chiefs respected him, elders prayed for his long life. But even though King Ewah was a great ruler, there was one thing that made his heart soft like ripe mango. He was a father, and he had one precious daughter. Her name was Princess B. Princess B was the first princess of Cape Kingdom. That title was not only about beauty or fancy clothes. It was about responsibility. In Cape Kingdom, the first princess was seen as a symbol of the future. From the day Princess B was small enough to sit on her father's lap, people looked at her with hope. "Look at her," women in the market would whisper. "She will carry the honor of the kingdom. May she grow with wisdom," the elders would say, tapping their walking sticks on the ground in blessing. Princess B grew into a young woman with a gentle smile and a calm voice. She did not walk with pride. She walked with respect. When she passed elders, she greeted them properly. When children ran toward her, she laughed and greeted them too. Sometimes Princess Bai left the palace with her attendants and walked to the market. Not to show off, not to make people bow. She went because she loved her people. She loved the sound of women bargaining for tomatoes. "My sister, this one is too expensive." "Ah, if you know how I suffered to bring it here, you will not talk like that." She loved the smell of ground pepper and dried fish. She loved how children carried small baskets like grown-ups, trying to help their parents. She even loved the drummers who played near the roadside, making the air feel alive. Princess B was like that. She paid attention to the small things, but Princess B also carried a secret weight in her heart, a weight made of tradition. Because in Cape Kingdom, there was an important law, an ancient law, a law older than the palace itself. It was not written in books, it was written in memory. It was spoken in proverbs, and it was repeated like a song. The first princess of Cape Kingdom must never marry a man from outside Cape Kingdom. People believed this law protected their culture. They believed it kept the bloodline strong and the kingdom united. They believed it honored the ancestors. Princess B had heard this law since she was a child. When she was small, she accepted it like she accepted rain in the wet season. But as she grew older, she began to wonder, "What if my heart chooses someone else?" she sometimes asked herself. Then she would quickly push the thought away. Because in Cape Kingdom, the first princess did not ask such questions. One year, when the air became dry and the roads became busy, trade season arrived. Trade season was a special time in Cape Kingdom. People came from different places to sell and buy goods. They brought cloth, salt, beads, cooking pots, and news stories. On the day the traders arrived, the market became even louder than usual. The chiefs ordered extra benches under the trees so visitors could rest. Women wore their brightest wrappers. Men tied their headscarves neatly. Children ran around like little goats, excited by the noise and new faces. Princess Bee watched from the palace balcony. She loved trade season, not because of the items, but because it reminded her that the world was bigger than their hills. That afternoon, the palace received guests, traders who wanted to greet the king and pay respect before doing business. Princess Bee sat quietly behind a curtain as the visitors arrived one by one. Some were loud and proud. Some were shy. Some spoke quickly with big gestures. Then one visitor stepped forward. He was not dressed like a prince. He did not carry himself like someone trying to impress. But he looked neat and clean. His eyes were steady. His voice was calm. His name was Anthony. Anthony bowed respectfully the way he had been taught. "Good afternoon, Your Royal Highness," he said politely. King Ewah nodded. "Welcome to Cape Kingdom." "Thank you," Anthony replied. "Your kingdom is beautiful." King Ewah studied him. Many visitors came to the palace and spoke sweet words, but Anthony's words did not sound like empty sugar. They sounded honest. Princess Bee, behind the curtain, listened quietly. Something about Anthony's voice felt peaceful. A few days later, Princess Bee went to the market with her attendants. She wore a simple royal outfit, not too heavy, not too proud, because she did not like walking with too much attention. As she passed through the market, people greeted her. "Princess Bee, may your day be sweet." "Princess, you are welcome." She smiled and greeted them back. While walking, she saw something that made her slow down. An elderly woman was trying to lift a heavy basket of cocoyams. The basket was too heavy for her. She bent down and tried again, but her hands shook. Before any palace attendant could step forward, a man moved quickly. It was Anthony. He lifted the basket carefully, not roughly, and placed it on a small wooden stand nearby. "Ma," he said kindly, "let me help you." The old woman smiled. "My child, thank you. You have good manners." Anthony smiled back. "You remind me of my grandmother." Princess Bee watched this moment with quiet surprise. Not because a man helped an elderly woman. Many people did that. But because Anthony helped like it was normal, like it was not a show. And when he finished, he did not look around to see who was watching. He simply helped and continued walking. Princess Bee felt something small move inside her chest, a warm feeling. She did not understand it yet, but it was there. Later that same day, Princess Bee stopped at a stall where a young girl sold fruits. The girl was arranging oranges in a neat line. Princess Bee bent down. "How much for these oranges?" The girl smiled. "Princess, for you, 2 for 1 small coin." Princess Bee laughed gently. "You are kind, but your work deserves proper payment." She gave the girl enough coins and took the oranges. As she stood up, she noticed Anthony nearby, buying dried fish. The seller was speaking quickly, and Anthony looked a bit confused. The seller said, "This one is big. This one is small. You must pay well, ah?" Anthony smiled politely. "Please, ma, I want the fair price." The seller narrowed her eyes. "You are not from here, so you will pay visitor price." Anthony did not argue. He did not raise his voice. He simply looked down, thinking. Princess Bee stepped forward. "Ma," she said gently to the seller, "in Cape Kingdom, we treat visitors with respect." The seller quickly softened. "Ah, Princess, forgive me." Princess Bee turned to Anthony. "Welcome to our market." Anthony bowed slightly. "Thank you, Princess." Princess Bee hesitated, then asked a simple question. "You are learning our ways quickly," she said. Anthony smiled. "I am trying. A place should be respected when you enter it, Princess B nodded. They spoke for a short moment, only a few words. But somehow, those few words stayed in Princess B's mind, like a song you hear once and cannot forget. Days passed. Anthony remained in Cape Kingdom because trade season was long. He visited the market often. He greeted people properly. He even learned a few local greetings. When he tried, people laughed. Not to mock him, but because they found it charming. Princess B noticed, and Anthony noticed her too. Not only a royal beauty, but her kindness, the way she listened, the way she did not shame people, even when she corrected them. Soon they began meeting in safe, open places, sometimes in the palace courtyard when the elders were gathered far away, sometimes near the palace gardens where flowers grew and butterflies danced in the sunlight, sometimes near the community square where children played. They never hid in the secret corners like they were doing something wrong. They spoke openly, with respect and with proper distance. At first, their talks were simple. Anthony would say, "Your hills are so green. In my home, the land is flatter." Princess B would smile. "Our hills teach us to be strong. We climb every day." Anthony would ask, "Why do your people love the market so much?" Princess Bai would laugh, "Because the market is where the kingdom's heartbeat lives." Sometimes Princess B asked Anthony about his home. "Do you have a king too?" she asked once. Anthony shook his head. "Not like yours, but we have leaders. We also have rules." "Do you miss your family?" Princess B asked. Anthony's eyes softened. "Yes, but meeting new people also teaches me something. It reminds me that goodness exists everywhere." Princess B liked how he spoke. His words were simple but full of meaning. And slowly, without warning, their friendship became deeper. Princess B started looking forward to their conversations. Anthony started walking a little faster when he knew he might see her. And one evening, as the sky turned orange and birds flew home, Princess B realized something that made her heart beat louder. She was falling in love. At first, Princess B tried to ignore it. She told herself, "This is only friendship." But her heart would not agree. When she heard Anthony's voice, she felt calm. When she did not see him for a day, she felt restless. When she imagined him leaving after trade season, her throat felt tight. Princess B began to pray quietly at night. "God," she whispered, "please help me. My heart is walking into trouble." Because she knew the law, she knew the ancestors' rule, and she knew Anthony was a foreigner, Anthony also struggled. One afternoon, while speaking with Princess B near the palace garden, he suddenly became quiet. Princess B noticed. "Is something wrong?" Anthony looked down at the ground. "Princess, may I speak honestly?" Princess B nodded. "Yes." Anthony took a slow breath. "I respect your kingdom," he said, "and I respect you." Princess Bai's heart beat faster. Anthony continued, "But I also know I am not from Cape Kingdom. I do not want to bring trouble to your life." Princess B swallowed. "You are not trouble," she said softly. Anthony smiled sadly. Sometimes love can be good and still be difficult. Princess B did not respond quickly. She looked at the flowers in the garden. A small butterfly landed on a leaf, then flew away. Finally, she said, "In Cape Kingdom, tradition is like a mountain. It does not move easily." Anthony nodded. "Then we must be careful." Princess B looked at him. "But careful does not mean we stop caring." Anthony's eyes met hers, and in that moment, their love became real. No longer something hidden under friendship. It was love, quiet, strong, and true. But Cape Kingdom was not blind. People began to notice. Palace workers saw Anthony's visits. Market women gossiped with excited whispers. "Have you seen how the princess talks to that visitor?" I have seen it." "Is it friendship or something more?" "Ah, This one looks like more. Oh, even children noticed. One day, 2 little girls playing near the palace gate giggled. That man smiles like he knows the princess, one said. Hush, if the guards hear you, they will tell your mother, the other replied. Soon the whispers reached the ears of the palace, and from the palace they reached the king. One evening, King Ewah sat in his private chamber. A lantern glowed on the table. A quiet drumbeat could be heard far away, like a heartbeat in the night. A trusted palace advisor entered and bowed. Your Royal Highness, the advisor said carefully, there is something you should know. King Ewah's eyes lifted. Speak. The advisor hesitated, then spoke gently. The Princess Bai, has become close to a foreign visitor named Anthony. The room went quiet. King Ewah did not shout. He did not knock the table. He simply sat still. As king, he remembered the law. As father, he remembered his daughter's smile. King Ewah dismissed the advisor with a small wave. When the door closed, he stared into the lantern light. He whispered to himself, Bye. The next morning, King Ewah invited Princess Bee to meet him in the royal courtyard. It was a peaceful place. Birds chirped in the trees. The air smelled fresh. Guards stood at a distance. Princess Bee approached and greeted her father respectfully. Good morning, father. King Ewah's voice was calm. Good morning, my daughter. Sit. Princess Bee sat on a low stool across from him. Her hands rested neatly in her lap, but inside her heart felt like it was running. King Ewah looked at her for a long moment. Then he asked, gently but firmly, Bai, is it true that your heart has chosen someone outside Cape Kingdom? Princess Bai's throat became dry. She could have denied it. She could have acted confused. But Princess Bee was not a dishonest person. She lowered her head respectfully and said, Yes, father. King Ewah sighed softly. And this man, Anthony, you love him? Princess Bee lifted her eyes. Yes, father, she said. I love him. The king's face did not become harsh. Instead, it became sad, like a man carrying a heavy pot on his head. My daughter, he said, you know the law. Princess Bee nodded. I know. King Ewah leaned forward slightly. Do you understand why it exists? Princess Bee answered carefully. They say it protects our culture and our unity. King Ewah nodded slowly. Yes, and the people hold it like a treasure. Princess Bee's voice shook a little. Father, I respect our culture. I respect our people. But my heart... King Ewah raised his hand gently, not to stop her, but to slow the moment. He stood and walked a short distance, looking at the courtyard ground. Then he turned back. This matter is bigger than you and me, he said. It touches the whole kingdom. Princess Bee's eyes filled with tears, but she did not cry loudly. She remained strong. King Ewah returned to his seat. As a father, I want your happiness, he said. Princess Bee's heart lifted. But as king, he continued, I must be careful. A kingdom cannot move by feelings alone. Princess Bee nodded slowly. Then King Ewah said something that surprised her. I will not decide this alone. Princess Bee blinked. Father? King Ewah looked at her with a serious face. I will consult my inner cabinet, he said. The elders and chiefs. We will deliberate. Princess Bee's lips parted slightly. Deliberate, she repeated. King Ewah nodded. Yes, we will talk. We will think. We will seek wisdom. Princess Bee bowed her head. Thank you, father. King Ewah added, until then, you must remain respectful. No secret meetings, no careless actions. Princess Bee nodded again. Yes, father. And just like that, Princess Bee walked out of the courtyard with a heart full of fear and a small light of hope. When news spread that King Ewah had called the inner cabinet, Cape Kingdom became louder than the market on a busy day. Elders gathered under trees. One elder said, scratching his chin. Has this ever happened before? A woman selling beans said, "If they change the law for one princess, what will happen next?" A young man replied, "But love is love. Should we punish her for loving?" The next market day, a royal town crier stood on a raised wooden platform. He beat a small drum to call attention. Boom, 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 boom. People gathered quickly. The town crier lifted his voice. "Hear ye, people of Cape Kingdom. The matter of Princess Bai's future is under discussion in the palace. The elders and chiefs are deliberating. The kingdom will be informed in due time." The market exploded with voices. "Ah, it is true. So the princess really loves that foreigner. Can a law change like that? This will be hot like pepper soup." From that day, the announcement was made every week, and each week the arguments grew. Some people supported the princess. She is kind. She is wise. If she loves him, let her marry him. Others were against it. Tradition is tradition. If we bend it, we will regret it. Some people simply enjoyed the drama. They laughed and said, "This story is sweeter than ground nuts." And yes, some villagers even placed friendly bets. "I bet 2 cups of maize that the law will not change." One man said. "I bet a basket of cocoyams that the king will change it," another replied. It became the talk of Cape Kingdom. Then something else happened, something that made the palace even more tense. Young men from Cape Kingdom started coming to the palace gates, one by one, dressed neatly, with gifts, with confidence. They came to ask for Princess B's hand in marriage. They believed the princess wanted a foreigner because no man from Cape Kingdom had shown interest. So they came to prove they were ready. The palace guards were surprised. "Another one?" One guard muttered. "Today again?" Soon it became a daily thing. A young man would arrive, bow respectfully, and say, "Please tell the king I wish to marry Princess B." Some brought kola nuts, some brought cloth, some brought promises. Inside the palace, the attendants whispered, "This is becoming too much. Does the princess even know how many are coming? Will she choose one of them to stop this matter?" But Princess B did not choose any of them, because love cannot be forced, and love cannot be replaced like changing shoes. Princess B remained respectful, but firm. Her heart had already chosen Anthony, and Anthony waited quietly, not pushing, not demanding, only hoping. As episode 1 comes to an end, Cape Kingdom stands at the edge of a big question, a question that shakes old rules, a question that pulls at hearts, a question that even King Ewah cannot answer quickly. Princess Bai loves Anthony, but tradition stands like a mountain. The elders deliberate behind palace doors. The villagers argue in the market, and the young men of the kingdom keep arriving at the palace gate. And somewhere between love and law, a decision is coming. But for now, the kingdom holds its breath, because what happens next will not only change Princess Bai's life, it may change Cape Kingdom forever. This is not just a love story, it is an African tale. Story The Princess Who Loved Beyond the Border, Episode 1. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Turn on your notifications bell to be notified when upload episode 2.